Hello. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, and I'm here to talk to you about Common Lit. But before we do Common Lit, I got a joke for you. You ready? I got to read it. Today's joke comes from Tommy. What kind of math are soccer players best at? Addition? Subtraction? Division? Multiplication? Nope. Kick in the shin. That's funny. That's funny. Thanks, Tommy, for sharing your joke with me. Also, before we start, I wanted to share with you that this story that we're going to read, the passage we're going to read today, is nonfiction, and it's about these wild horses of Assateague Island. I don't know if you've ever heard of them before, but I picked this story because I'm finishing up Fantastic Mr. Fox, and after we read, how many of you are listening to that, by the way? It's just for fun. You don't have to listen to it, but just have somebody read to you, because I told you when I was a kid, I loved to be read to. I still like to listen to people read books. I just do it in my car, and I listen to MP3s. Anyway, so our next book is going to be this book. It's a Newbery Honor book called Misty of Chincoteague. And we're going to read this book next. This book is based upon a true story, which is kind of cool. And I have a lot of information about this book when we get there. But the story we're going to read today on Common Lit talks about these wild horses, and that's what this book is about. So, those of you that struggled last week, I really want you to do this video with me. I want you to walk through it with me so that we can have a better idea of what the answers are and how we're picking the answers, okay? So, hang with me. If you felt like you did well last week, you can go off on your own and do it by yourself. Otherwise, here we go. You ready to read? I'm going to make the text bigger so you can see it. All right, here we go. From the wild horses of Assateague Island. I like this little tool right here that can focus you. All right. This is written by the National Park Service, U.S. Department of the Interior. It's pretty cool. So they know what they're talking about, right? All right, here we go. Let's turn on guiding questions because we're going to do those too. A national treasure. The wild horses of Assateague Island are descendants, that means a person or animal related to a group from the past, of domesticated animals that were made less wild to be pets or farm animals. So they're descendants of domesticated animals brought to the island over 300 years ago. Horses tough enough to survive the scorching heat, abundant insects, stormy weather, and poor quality of food found on this windswept barrier island have formed a unique wild horse society. Enjoy their beauty from a distance, and you can help make sure that these extraordinary wild horses will continue to thrive on Assateague Island. All right, let's answer question number 1. The author describes the wild horses as strong and beautiful. Let's see. The wild horses. They talk about their beauty. Tough enough. Well, that would be a good answer. Struggling to survive. I don't think that they are. They're thriving. Will continue to thrive. Oh, they're thriving. Slowly dying off. No, they're thriving. Protected from humans. I don't think they really said anything about that. So I think our best answer here is strong and beautiful. Yes, we got it right. All right, I'm going to pause right there. I want to show you where Assateague Island is. It's not that far from us, actually. It'd be a great vacation spot if you're ever, looking for a vacation spot once this whole thing is over. So here it is. I'm going to zoom out so that you can see. So here's the Assateague Island, and here's Chincoteague Island, it's all the same island, like it's temporarily closed. It's all the same island. It's just divided by the state line. So up here, this is Maryland, and down here, this is Virginia. So you can kind of see the difference. It's all one island. It's this barrier island. I like it. It's called a barrier island. Look, it's like kind of blocking the actual mainland from all these waves and storms. So think about what the water might be like inside here. I bet it's pretty calm. This is kind of like an inlet or a bay. All right, so I'm going to zoom out. See, keep your eye on that red dot because that's where we're talking about. Here's Washington, D.C. And here we are right here, Pittsburgh. So it's not really that far. Let's see if I can see directions, how far it would actually be. Let me put in Bethel Park, PA, and see if it'll give me directions. Sorry, we couldn't calculate directions from Bethel Park. Why not? Why not? What if I drive? Can you do it now? Oh, they're like, no, you can't go there because it's closed. I don't know. I wonder how far of a drive it'd be. I wonder why this isn't working. Oh, you know what? Because I bet you can't actually get there. There's no road that goes there. So that's why. Let me type in, whoops. What happened there? Let me type in Chincoteague Island. Let's see if that'll take us there. Okay. Oh, so it's like 7 hours. It's like a 7-hour drive. I mean, that's not terrible. And then maybe on the way back, you could stop at there's beaches up here in Maryland. I know that. Rehoboth Beach, Ocean City. There aren't actually beaches on Chincoteague or Assateague Island. I know that because I've done some research before doing this video with you. So when I lived in Virginia, I tell you all the time, I used to live in Northern Virginia, and I actually lived right around in here in this area. And do you believe that I've never actually been to Assateague or Chincoteague Island? Chincoteague Island. I wish I would have gone. Maybe one day I'll take my children. Anyway, let's get back to our common lit. I just thought that was interesting. It's not really that far away. Let me go back to big text. Okay, so here we go. My treasures do not click together or glitter. They gleam in the sun and neigh in the night. Bedouin proverb. Let's see. A proverb is a short, well-known saying. So I think that's about the treasures are like the horses, right? The ponies. I think they're called ponies now. Where did they come from? Were the horses shipwreck survivors? Local folklore describes the Assateague horses as survivors of a shipwreck off the Virginia coast. While this dramatic tale of struggle and survival is popular, there are no records yet that confirm it. Or settlers' horses. During the 17th century, free-roaming horses, cows, sheep, and pigs caused expensive crop damage to local farms. Oh, I can imagine just random horses walking around would probably eat all your crops, just like the deer do now. Farmers were required to pay taxes on all mainland livestock and fence them in. Oh, so that probably got a little bit expensive. Like people in the 21st century, these resourceful coastal residents looked for ways to avoid paying this tax. They turned to nearby Assateague Island with its abundance, meaning a large amount, of food, shelter, and a natural corral, a pen for farm animals, made of water to solve their problems. So basically, because it was an island, it was corralled by water all the way around it. And while it wasn't really an actual fence, they thought that the horses would stay there because they wouldn't go in the water. They would just stay on the land. It is likely that modern Assateague horses are descendants of those hardy animals turned loose on the island to graze free. All right, let's do question 2. How does the author suspect the horses got to the island? They swam to escape predators. Didn't say anything about that. They were brought there by farmers. That's a possible answer. They have always been on the island. That's not true. There used to be land that connected to the island. They didn't say anything about that. So what do you think? I think we're going to pick B. All right, we got it right. Hi, bud. Go get started on your schoolwork.
Mom, after this.
All right. Living the wildlife in Maryland. Assateague's horses are uniquely adapted to survive on a barrier island. How do they do it? What do they eat? The horses spend most of their time grazing on abundant but nutrient-poor salt marsh cordgrass, salt meadow hay, and beach grass. The horses' short stature, means their height, they're not very tall, is a result of hundreds of years of adaptation to this low-quality diet. Genetically, they are considered horses, even though they are now pony size. The Assateague horses drink over twice the amount of water that domesticated horses will due to their salty food supply. All that drinking combined with a high salt diet contributes to their bloated appearance. All right, question 3. Why are the horses small and bloated? Okay, well, they just talked about that. It's because they eat these low grasses, and they have a low quality diet, and they drink. It's a lot of high salt diet. Okay, because they don't get much exercise. It didn't talk about that. Because farmers are breeding smaller horses. That wasn't mentioned. Because they don't get enough water. Well, I think they get lots of water, right? Because of what they eat and drink. I think that's the best answer, don't you? Let's see. Great work. Continue reading to answer the question 4 question. All right, let's go. Where do they live throughout the year? Spring brings cool, rainy weather and fresh plant growth to the island. Many of the horses live in the marshes close to their best food sources. Foals, a young horse, are usually born in late spring and live with their mothers in a family group called a band. Each band is usually made up of 20 to 10 mares, a female horse, their offspring, and a stallion, which is a male horse, an adult male horse. Hot, humid, and full of insects, summer brings a new set of challenges. The horses escape the mosquitoes and flies of the marsh by spending more time on the beach and in the surf, letting the refreshing ocean breezes carry away airborne pests. Cooler fall weather and fewer insects allow the bands to move from the beaches back to the marshes and their abundant grasses. The horses prefer to browse in shrub thickets during the damp, chilly winter season. Their thick, furry coats will protect them from ferocious, extreme, and unpleasant, adjective, winter winds and the occasional snowstorm. All right, let's do question 4. Throughout the changing seasons, the horses always remain in the same location. I think it said that they move around, right? Yeah, they go to the beach and then they go back to the thicket. Okay, so that's not right. Change bands several times. What was the band? Oh, a family group. I don't think they talked about that at all. Spent most of their time alone and hidden. They stay with each other, right? Move around according to where they can find food. Yeah, because of the grasses, yeah, I think that's our best answer. Great work. Continue reading to answer question 5. Oh, there's 5 here? Do they receive veterinary care? While action may be taken to end the suffering of a gravely ill, seriously injured, or dying horse, no measures are taken to prolong the lives of Maryland's wild horses. Remember, I told you that they're in both Maryland and Virginia because of that state line. As with other species of Assateague wildlife, horses that are sick or weak do not survive. This helps maintain a hardy, healthy population of wild horses. Now, Virginia's horses are privately owned by the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department and receive some veterinary care. So, I'm going to post a video after this if you want to learn more about it. And this is what the book is about. The Misty of Chincoteague is that Virginia's horses are privately owned and they actually get auctioned off once a year, so they can sell them and they raise money to help support the volunteer fire department. Interesting. Where can you see the wild horses? In Maryland. Maryland's horses are owned and managed by the National Park Service. They are free roaming wildlife and could be anywhere in the park. During the summer months, many bands can be found on the beach. You can often see the horses and other wildlife by driving slowly along park roads. Protect island habitat by parking only in designated parking areas. The life of the forest and life of the marsh trails are good places to look, especially during spring, fall, and winter seasons. Do not feed or pet the horses. Horses that learn to come up to the road are hit and killed by cars. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Where can you see the horses in Virginia? Virginia's horses are privately owned by the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department and are fenced in large enclosures. Look for the horses in the marshes along Beach Road and from the observation platform on the Woodland Trail. This having fenced in and large enclosures reminds me of the buffalo at South Park. How many of you have been there to see the buffalo in South Park? I don't know. That's just what I picture. Remember, we talk about all the time making a text to self, text to world, text to text connection. Well, that would be my text to world connection, I guess, because the horses are in another part. I'm connecting those horses being fenced in large enclosures to our horses here in South Park. All right, question 5. Let's see. The wild horses of Assateague Island are owned but remain wild. No, I think because remember, Chincoteague Island is the ones that are owned. Oh, wait, this one says are owned and managed by, oh, yeah, okay, so they are owned, but they are wild. Okay, that one's true. Tend to be healthier and happier. It didn't say anything like that. Have more contact with humans. Definitely said do not contact them. Are available for the public to ride and feed. No way. Okay, so I think A is our best answer. Yes, great work. All right, are we ready to do our assessment questions? Now, these ones I'm not going to tell you the answer. I will help you. I will help you talk through them, but I'm not telling you the answer. All right, part A. What does the word adapted mean as used in paragraph 7? Well, let's click on that. It'll take us to paragraph 7. Here we go. Assateague's horses are uniquely adapted to survive on a barrier island. All right, how are they? What does adapted mean? Chosen because of a gentle manner. I think this is talking about what they eat and where they live and how they move and what they do. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Changed in order to fit certain conditions. It does talk about as a result of hundreds of years of adaptation. So that's kind of like your change, right? Cared for because of harsh living conditions. Well, that's simply not true. They're not cared for. Colored in order to match surroundings. I don't think it said anything about that. So go ahead and think for a minute and pick your best answer. Okay, so remember that this is a part A. So part B, we're going to try to find the match to the answer you picked in part A. So part B, which statement from the Wild Horses of Assateague Island best supports the answer to part A? All right, so let's go back. Whatever we picked here for part A, what does word adapted mean? Let's find the match to that. Genetically, they are considered horses, even though they are now pony size. Maybe. So this shows so I think that this answer is telling you how there was a change, how they're still genetically horses, but they are different size. I think that talks about there's a change. B, many of the horses live in the marshes close to their best food sources. I'm not really sure that talks about how they changed. Foals are usually born in late spring. This helps maintain a hardy, healthy population of wild horses. Again, remember we're going with which one of these has to do with the word adapting. We know from our science lesson that when you adapt to something, you have a change. So which one of these goes with that? Go ahead and pick your best answer. All right, next. Okay, part A. Which statement provides the best explanation of why the Assateague horses have survived on the barrier island for so long? Let's see. I'm not sure we'd find this answer. The townspeople have kept the horses as pets for many years. That's not true. They didn't even talk about horses being pets. The horses are protected when visitors drive cautiously. Nobody drives there. Remember, it's an island. There aren't any roads there. The horses adjusted to the island. Oh, did they adjust to the island? Yeah, I think it talked about that a lot in here. The fire department provides the horses with some veterinary care. Well, was that the Assateague horses or was that the Chincoteague horses? Yeah, see, that was the Chincoteague horses. Here. So, which one's your best answer? Okay, remember, so we're looking for the answer to part that matches this. Which one best supports the answer to part A? Which one supports the answer to why they've survived for so long? The wild horses are descendants of domesticated animals brought to the island over 300 years ago. I don't know about that. The Assateague horses drink over twice the amount of water that domesticated horses will due to their salty food supply. Well, that kind of shows how they had to make a change, how they're surviving, right? Okay. Virginia's horses are privately owned by the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department and receive some veterinary care. But again, remember, I think we went back to that same thing. Why the Assateague horses? I don't care about the Chincoteague horses at this point because this question doesn't address that. So I think this one's out because of that. Or D, you can often see the horses and other wildlife by driving slowly along park roads. Okay, go ahead and pick your best answer. All right, here we go. Part 5. Oh, part A, another part A question. Which statement about how the horses came to live on Assateague Island has the most support in the Wild Horses of Assateague Island? Okay, which statement about how they came to live? Okay, so which one Which one has the most support? How they came to live. Okay, so shipwreck has 2 sentences. Settler's Horses has 3 paragraphs. So what do you think? Which one has the most support? The horses were placed on the island by the government. It didn't say that. It was the farmers, remember, not the government. The horses swam to the island after a shipwreck. Okay, that's your up here. The horses were put on the island by farmers. That's down here. Or the horses were native to the island. Pick your best answer. All right, now which one gives you that answer or supports the answer you picked here? So which evidence shows how the horses came to live there? Dramatic tale of struggle and survival. Descendants of those hardy animals turned loose. Paragraph 6. Oh, that would be this paragraph right here, which is under here. It's in the right place. Does it make sense? Owned and managed by the National Park Service, or free roaming wildlife could be anywhere. Which one of these is the best answer to the one we chose here? Why were they put there? Why did they come to live on the island? And which one of these supports that? All right, so we're done for today. Go ahead and submit your answers so I can see your scores, and hopefully you did really well. Listen into this book. If you want to learn more, I'm going to post some links so you can learn more. This is a really interesting topic, I think. So hopefully you enjoyed learning a little bit while we did our Common Lit today, and you're understanding the Common Lit a little bit more. So have a wonderful rest of your day. It's great to interact with you. And I'll see you soon, friends. Love you. Miss you. Bye.